How many games will the Detroit Lions win in 2023? What's going on, Lions fans? It's time to soar the roar, and it's time to give you my NFL record prediction for Detroit Lions for a 2023 NFL season. So I'm going to give you my thoughts, see which games I think the Lions are going to win and which games I think the Lions will lose. So before I give you my record prediction for Detroit Lions in 2023, don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and don't forget to comment down in your opinion below to see how good do you think the Lions are going to be. Do you think they're going to win the division? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs? Or do you think they're going to miss out on the playoffs once again? Let me know in the comment section below what you think, how the Lions are going to do. Now, the question is that the Lions, now I know the thing is that the Lions have a lot of hype, but the question is that can they bounce back and be the NFC North champs? That's the question, which I don't even know. But let's get to the schedule. So week 1, they have to face against the Kansas City Chiefs on opening night, Thursday night. Obviously, there's reigning Super Bowl champs, so I got the Chiefs winning this game. And here's why. The Chiefs have a better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're at home. They're the more complete team. And I think they're going to do a good job controlling time possession in this game, and they'll secure the line of scrimmage. And they have a really good offensive line that can really spread your defense out, and they can control your pass rush. And I feel like Patrick Mahomes, he can do another throw the ball in the air against your secondary. So, yeah, and also I think Spag can do a good job, like confusing Jared Goff in this game. So, yeah, I think this game will be close and competitive, but I think the Lions find a way to win that game. Next game, week 2, they got to play against the Seahawks. Now, this is another game a little bit that can go either way. Now, I understand that last year that they beat you guys in your stadium, but this time it's going to be at your stadium again like last year. But I'm going to take the Lions to win this game because the Lions are at home. And I just kind of really feel like that, that their defense is going to give the Seahawks offense some issues. And then I kind of really feel like that, you have a strong offensive line that can find a way to, like, control Seattle's D line that can give the Seahawks defense some issues, especially Jared Goff. I feel like he can do enough to throw the ball in the air against your secondary and all that. And also, I think you guys have a good secondary, which I think you guys can contain their passing game and find a way to at least shut down the Seahawks receivers. So yeah, I think this game will be close and competitive like last time, but I think the Seahawks find a way to win that game. Next game, they have to play against the Falcons. I actually got them beating the Falcons because Detroit, they have the better quarterback and they have the better coaching staff. I mean, the Lions are at home, and, I just think they're the more complete team. And on top of that, I don't trust a rookie quarterback on the road, especially against a good defensive scheme like Detroit. I feel like, defense is going to find a way to get after Ritter, and especially, I feel like that your secondary can match up well with Atlanta's receivers passing game. So I think they can find a way to at least contain the receivers. And then your O-line can do a good job, blocking their front, despite the Falcons improving their defense. So I feel like Goff is going to dice them up. So, yeah, I think this game is going to be closer and a little bit low-scoring game, but I think Detroit finds a way to pull it off. The next game, they have to play against the Packers on a short week. Now, this is a Thursday night game. I actually got them split with the Packers. So I'm going to say that they lose the first game against Green Bay because, Lambeau Field's a tough place to play at. And, they kind of want revenge from you from last year where you guys have swept them. And I don't think you guys are going to do it again in one season like last year. So, yeah. And on top of that, Green Bay has kind of owned you. And I just think that their defense is going to give your offense a tough time. Plus, they're going to find a way to give Jared Goff a tough time. So, yeah. And I feel like their O-line is going to do a good job controlling your pass rush. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I think Green Bay wins the game. And then they play them on Thanksgiving, week 12 on Thursday. And then they got to play again on another Thursday, which is on Thanksgiving. So I think they split the season series with the win right here at home. So yeah. And also Lions, they just got the better quarterback in this game. They're more stable with the quarterback position for right now. So yeah. And I think you guys match up well with Green Bay as well. I think you guys can do a good job blocking their front, and then you feel like your defensive line can get after Jordan Love and all that. Because Jordan Love, struggles against really good defensive schemes. So yeah. So that's pretty much why. All right, the next game, they have to play against the Carolina Panthers. I think they beat the Panthers because this is a rookie quarterback going on the road, which I don't trust a rookie to win on the road, especially against a really good defensive scheme like Detroit. I think your defense is going to give Bryce Young a lot of issues because I don't think Carolina's old line is that perfect. But I understand. I kind of remember that game from last year. The game was played in Carolina, and that where Carolina have ran you guys over. But I think Detroit, I think you're gonna get revenge from them because you lost them last year. So yeah, and I just kind of feel like the Lions can do enough to move the ball, and Jared Goff can do enough to throw the ball in the air against their secondary, which is pretty young. And I think they're gonna find a way to stop the pass in this game, so that way they can find a way to at least cover the Panthers receiving core. So yeah, I think this game is gonna be close and competitive, but I think Detroit's find a way to pull it off with a victory. All right, next game they have to play against Tampa Bay Bucks. Obviously, I got Detroit winning this game because I just think Detroit is just a more talented team, and they just have the better coaching staff. I just kind of feel like that Detroit just have better coaching than the Bucks because I don't believe in the Bucks coaching. But you know what? Todd Bowles is kind of good at blitzing at most of the time. He's good at blitzing young quarterbacks. So I feel like and also I just kind of feel like the Bucks defense is kind of a little bit overrated. So I feel like Detroit's gonna have success moving the ball against them. And I feel like your O-line can do a good job blocking their front, and then they're gonna have answers for their blitzes and all that. But I don't think the Bucks offensive line is any good, and I don't think Baker Mayfield is good, especially against good defensive schemes. Yeah, I think your defense finds a way to at least confuse Baker Mayfield, and I think and I think you guys can cause mistakes, cause some turnovers. And then I think you guys can do a good job in the secondary, covering the Bucks receivers. You can dare them to run the ball because we know that Tampa Bay does not have a running game. So, yeah. But I think this game's going to be close, but I think Detroit finds a way to pull it off. Next game, they have to play against the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, this game can go a little bit either way. Now, most people are picking the Lions to win on the road, but I'm going to go with the Ravens here because the Ravens, they're at home. And I just think, they're just a more complete team and have the better quarterback and better coaching staff. And on top of that, I just kind of feel like that the Ravens match up well with the Lions pretty good. I think their defense is going to give Jared Goff and your offense issues. And then I kind of really feel like that, that Lamar, he can do enough to throw the ball through the air against your secondary. And then, especially with the weapons they have on offense, I don't think you're going to have an answer for OBJ or Mark Andrews. So, yeah. That's pretty much why. But I think this game is going to be very close and competitive. But I think the Ravens are going to find a way to win this game. But I feel like I kind of feel like if the Ravens, if they can get up early, they could definitely blow the Lions out. So, yeah, that's how I see it. All right, so next game, they got to play against the Raiders on Monday night. This is the night before Halloween. Now, this is another game that can go either way, though. But some people might pick the Raiders to win because the Raiders could be the more complete team because the Raiders can do enough offensively to move the ball against your defense. And Jimmy G can do enough here on offense. But, Raiders, their defensive line is pretty good, but their secondary is atrocious. But you know what? If this game's in Las Vegas, I could definitely go with the Raiders here. But given that this game's in Detroit, I'm just gonna go ahead and just say the Lions are gonna win this game because you're at home, and I just think the Lions are just a more complete team. So yeah, and I just think you guys got the better defense than the Raiders because I just don't have no faith in the Raiders defense. I just don't have no faith in the Raiders defense to win this game. But I just kind of feel like the only way the Raiders can win this game against the defense, I think they can crowd the box, which they're gonna have a tough time doing. I think your O-line can do a good job, blocking their pass rush to put the Raiders defense in bad position. And I kind of feel like Jared Goff, he's good against bad defenses, so you should be able to move the ball against him. Jared Goff should be able to make enough plays to throw the ball through the air, especially against the Raiders secondary, which is not really good. So yeah, and I think your defense is going to give the Raiders offense a tough time. I think you're going to do a good job stopping the run and getting after Jimmy G and all that. And then your improved secondary can find a way to at least stop the pass in this game. So yeah. But I think this game right here is going to be super close and competitive. But I think the Lions find a way to win this game. Then they got the bye week. Then after the bye week, they have extra time to prepare and watch film because, they have to get ready to at least play for. After the bye, they have to play against the LA Chargers. Obviously, this is a game right here that can definitely go either way. But that's a game where I think Detroit can definitely win because I think Detroit is a better team than the Chargers. But at the same time, I am going to go with the Chargers to win this game here because the game's in LA, and LA is kind of like a tough place to play at. And we know that the Lions, sometimes not used to an environment. So, yeah. So I think the Chargers can match up well. The Lions pretty good on paper. They have a really good defensive line that can get after Jared Goff in this game and stop the run because that's the Chargers' weakness. Well, the weakness of the Chargers is their ability to stop the run. And I think the Lions can definitely run the ball on them. And then their secondary is pretty good. So which I think they can find a way to handle business against St. Brown and Williamson, even if he's playing. Because we already know that. So, yeah. And then they have a really good offensive line, though, which I think they can find a way to at least control your pass rush. And I feel like Herbert, he should be able to make enough plays and all that and throw the ball in the air, especially against your secondary. So yeah, I think this game right here is going to be super close, and I think it will be competitive. But I think the Chargers find a way to pull out with a victory. The next game, Week 11, they have to play against the Chicago Bears. Obviously, I got Detroit winning this game because Detroit, I just feel like they're just a more complete team, and I just think they have the better coaching staff, and they're at home. But it's weird to say the Bears have a better quarterback, though, in this game. But, the Lions are just a better team. So, yeah. But you know what? I think they're going to split the Bears this year, so I'm going to say they win the first game at home, and then they play them again Week 14. So I'm just going to say that they split with them and lose the second game against the Bears because I just kind of feel that, the Bears kind of own them sometimes, and sometimes the Lions kind of own them. That's how I kind of really see. I just think Justin Fields at home is going to make some magic in this game here. So, yeah. But he can do enough to at least make some big plays against your defense. So I think that's why I think, the Bears win and the reason why the Lions split each other. So, yeah, that's pretty much why. The next game they have to play against the New Orleans Saints. This is another game that can go either way. Now, some people might go with New Orleans to win because New Orleans, is at home and the Dome is a tough place to play at. I mean, they got a really good defensive line there. And maybe they can have a chance to give Jared Goff a tough time. But even if it's in the Super Bowl, I don't know if it really matters. But I'm going to pick the Lions. This is also the CJ Gardner Johnson revenge game because he kind of knows the Saints pretty well. So I'm gonna pick the Lions to win this game because I think the Lions are the more complete team. They have a better, and they also have the better coaching staff as well. Because I don't think the Saints coaching staff is as good as yours, but their defense is pretty good as yours. So I think your offensive line can find a way to block their front. And I feel like Jared Goff can definitely make some plays against the Saints defense. But I feel like the Saints offensive line is a little bit overrated. Derek Carr seems like he's a little bit overrated. So I think your defense can find a way to handle him and contain him. And I think that you can get some pressure on him. And I think they're going to do a good job stopping the run. And I think their secondary can find a way to at least stop the pass in this game as well. So, yeah. So, ultimately, I think, So, yeah. But I would not be shocked if the Saints win this game. I wouldn't rule it out, but I just have a feeling that Detroit will win because they're just a more complete team and all that. So, yeah, that's pretty much why. Then next game, they got to play the Broncos. Now, on a Saturday, I actually got Detroit winning this game because, the Lions, I just kind of feel like they're just a more complete team. They're at home and have better coaching. I mean, Denver has better coaching, though, but I think the Lions are more talented. I feel like the Lions are a better team from a talented standpoint. But I just have no trust in Russell Wilson. I feel like his nature is too inconsistent. And, the offensive line is not good. The defense, it's okay, but I feel like it's a little bit overrated. So I feel like Detroit should have success moving the ball against them. And then I think their O-line can definitely do a good job controlling the Broncos D-line, which that can put the Broncos defense in a bad position. And I feel like your defense can definitely take advantage of that offensive line that the Broncos have, which is not good. And then I think they can find a way to stop the pass in this game, which I think you guys can do that. I think you guys have the corners to cover the Broncos receivers and all that. So, yeah. I think this game right here could definitely be a lot closer, but I think it's going to be a little bit like a defensive game here. But if the Lions get up early, it could be a blowout that the Lions can definitely blow them out. So, yeah. So, I got the Lions win this game right here. Then next game, Week 16, they have to play against the Vikings, and then they play against the Vikings again in Week 18 back-to-back. I think they're going to split. I think you guys will split with Minnesota. So, I'm just going to say that they lose the first game against Minnesota because the game's in Minnesota, knowing that the Vikings Stadium is a tough place to play at and all that. And it's weird to say that Minnesota has a better quarterback. And, they're at home, and then, and I feel like Kirk Cousins going to make some magic here. And I think so yeah. And then next game, Week 18, I got the split with the Vikings. So I think they win that game right here at home because, I just think the Lions are just a more complete team. They're at home. And I just kind of feel like that you guys got the better defense than the Vikings because I don't think the Vikings defense is good as yours. Like, I don't think it's going to be good as last year's. I feel like Minnesota's going to take a little bit of a step back this year because I don't think they're going to have much to play for because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. And I feel like Detroit's going to have a lot to play for. So I think they're going to have a chance to make the playoffs this year because so, yeah. So that's just pretty much why. And then Week 17, they got another Saturday game. They got to play on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, I got the Cowboys winning this game here. Like, I got the Cowboys winning this game because I just kind of really felt that the Cowboys, I just think they're the more complete team. And plus, they're at home, better quarterback. And I just kind of really feel like that I just don't think you guys match up well with the Cowboys because last year you guys couldn't do that because that's where the Cowboys, kind of really almost beat you by double digits. But I just kind of really feel like that Dallas defense is really good. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the league. I feel like they upgraded their secondary to cover the receivers of the Lions. And then their pass rush is very good. So I think they're definitely going to find a way to get after Jared Goff. And they're really good at stopping the run as well. So I think they'll find a way to stop the run. And they have a really good offensive line, which I think they can control your pass rush, which means that I think the offense is going to do a good job controlling the game. And then, Dak Prescott, he can do enough to make some plays down the field, especially against your defense. So, yeah, and then I believe Dallas did improve their receiving core a little bit after adding Brandon Cooks. So, yeah. But some people might pick Detroit to win because they think Detroit is just because they think Detroit's might want that revenge. But I'm just picking Dallas to win because I just think Dallas is an overall better team. So, yeah, that's pretty much why. All right, so right now, I have the Lions at 10-7, and I think you can say it's good enough to win the division. 3-3 in the conference, 8-4 at home, 8-0 away, 8-0 at home, 8-4 in the conference, 2-7 away. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, I feel like 10-7 should be good enough to win the division and good enough to make the playoffs. But I just kind of feel like the Lions, if they can at least find a way to win a playoff game, by double digits, I feel like they'll have a chance to at least move on to the divisional round. So, yeah, that's how I see it for the Lions. They should be a good team this year. I feel like that their offense is definitely going to improve. I like the addition of Jahmyr Gibbs throughout the draft. I feel like the receiving corps is going to improve after adding DJ Chark. But the same thing. But the issue is that that Jameson Williams is suspended, so he probably is not going to be able to come back until maybe in the middle of the season. And I think I feel like their offensive line is pretty good. The defense, is pretty good. It's pretty much underrated. I like the addition of Jack Campbell, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Brian Branch. Those are some good additions. And I feel like that their coaching is pretty good. And so, yeah. I mean, they should have at least made the playoffs last year. But I feel like this is a year that Detroit, takes a step forward and make the playoffs and have a chance to get that NFC North crown. So, yeah. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's what you guys think. It's Emmanuel Jones from Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.